Hello and welcome. My name is Biagio Mazza, Pastoral Associate at St. Sabina Parish in Belton, Missouri, and I'm here to welcome you to another Do You Know series question. Today's Do You Know question is, do you know why November is designated as Black Catholic History Month? On July the 24th of 1990, the National Black Clergy Catholic Caucus of the United States designated November as Black Catholic History Month in order to really celebrate the proud and glorious history of Black Catholicism. Not only does November celebrate the Feast of All Souls and All Saints, but it also honors St.Martin de Porres on November the 3rd, who is a Dominican Peruvian priest, the first Black saint to be designated as such in the entire Western Hemisphere, at least to date. It also celebrates the birthday of St. Augustine on November the 13th in the year 354. St. Augustine being an illustrious saint and a doctor of the church as well. African, obviously. On the Feast of All Saints, therefore, the opportunity for Black Catholics to really honor the hundreds of saints, African saints that were there in the early church, certainly early church centuries. On the Feast of All Souls, it's a time to remember all those Africans who were lost in the brutal treatment, especially in the Middle Passage transition in the Atlantic, as well as all those who suffered horribly during the centuries of slavery in the Americas. So it gives us an opportunity, November gives an opportunity to remember and honor all those who have gone before us with regards to that for Blacks. It's important to remember, very obviously, that Christianity did not originate in Europe and did not originate among whites. Christianity originated in a non-white area, a non-white part of Europe. The interesting thing to this very day, we have roughly about, in the United States, we have roughly about 3 million Black Catholics, which make up about 6% of the Black population in the United States. Black Catholicism has its roots, if you want. The Black Catholic Christianity has its roots in the early centuries of the church, where many of the converts, some of the early converts who were converted from the very beginning, such as Mark the Evangelist, the Ethiopian eunuch of Acts 8:26-40. Certainly the Simon of Cyrene and Simon Niger. Numerous early Christian martyrs were also African, namely Perpetua and Felicity, Maurice and his whole military regiment who were martyred for the faith. Many of the early church fathers were residents of Africa. People like Clement of Alexandria, Origen, Tertullian, Athanasius, Cyril of Alexandria, Cyprian, and of course St. Augustine himself. The majority of the patristic era men and women all resided in North Africa. And as a matter of fact, there were multiple kingdoms in Africa, Christian kingdoms established in Africa, namely in Ethiopia, as well as the 3 Nubian kingdoms in Africa. So Christianity had a solid footing in Africa roughly till about the time of the Muslim invasion in the year 700. The slave trade, however, as we transition, the slave trade conducted by mostly Catholic countries like Portugal, Spain, and France really led to the conversion of many Black enslaved people. Many of them were brought to the Americas. So in terms of black Catholicism in the United States, it can be dated to as early as 1528, where the Spaniards brought enslaved black Catholics to the Americas. And in 1528, as far as we can tell, the early 1600s, for example, and on, we had the establishment of a mission by black Catholics in St. Augustine, Florida. The early 1600s also brought with them many black converts to Catholicism. In 1781, for example, in the Maryland province, black Catholics numbered over 3,000. In 1829, for example, the first black Catholic sisters religious order was founded simply because they were not allowed to enter the white religious orders of women. And this was founded in Baltimore, and they became known as the Order, the Oblates of Providence. Soon, many other religious orders would follow, black established religious orders of women who would preserve the Catholic faith and be faithful to it. There's much story that needs to be told with regards to this. Probably one of the best resources with regards to the history of black Catholics in the United States is a book written by Cyprian Davis called The History of Black Catholics in the United States. It's one of the best resources still available that recounts much of this history with a great deal of detail and information. So, black Catholic communities played a unique role in the United States and in America in general. Why? Because they spoke to Catholic Church about justice and brotherhood. They spoke to fellow blacks about their dignity and worth as children of God. And they spoke to the nation in terms of what it meant to be truly Catholic in a racist church and society. Today, there are 6 black Catholics on path to sainthood. Mother Mary Lang, Sister Thea Bowman, Henrietta Lill, Pierre Toussaint, Father Augustus Tolton, and Julia Greeley. Black Catholics have persisted in fidelity to the church despite slavery, Jim Crow, and the persistent racism in both church and the nation. They have made and continue to make tremendous contribution to the church and to the nation. American Catholicism is black Catholicism as well, and the story needs to be told. And this is the key reason why November has been designated as Black Catholic History Month. I hope this has helped to explain why November has been designated as Black Catholic History Month, and I hope you'll return again to More Do You Know series as we continue to explore our history and our traditions. Thank you very much.